how do you integrate the Amazing Raise into your overall fundraising strategy? And how do you balance it with year-end fundraising strategies? And then if anyone else wants to chime in.
So I think that in terms of how we integrate it into all of the other things that we're doing, one of the things that we do is we, in terms of who is involved, we give this as a challenge to help us figure out our strategy each year to our communication committee and not just our development committee. And the reason for that is because we really see the Amazing Raise as a public campaign and as much a communication challenge as it is a fundraising challenge. And it really is so much about informing the public about your mission. When you have an event like the Amazing Raise where you have to communicate a compelling message to people about your mission, and you have to give them information about the Amazing Raise, and you have to give them instructions on where to give and when you want them to give to best leverage your strategy for the prizes. There's a whole lot of information that you have to give, and you have to do it in a very succinct way. And so that's the reason why I think it's really key to have people who have marketing experience involved in creating your strategy for the Amazing Raise. We also look at it as a way to find creative new ways to talk about our mission. So each year we come up with a theme for the Amazing Raise, and we use it first in the Amazing Raise, but that same theme carries throughout all of our year-end giving campaigns. Last year's theme that we did was the opposite of loneliness, and the reason that we picked that is because it was based on this idea that there isn't really a word in the English language for the opposite of loneliness. There are words like community or happiness or things that together kind of make that, but there isn't one word by itself, but that's what we do. And so just sort of talking to people about understanding that there isn't a word for what we do, but we still do it, and it's what we offer to a group of people who are often very isolated. And then based on that, we went to the youth who come to our center, and we asked them to talk about their feelings that they have when they come to the center and how they benefit from coming to our center. And we took those quotes that they gave us and we put them into graphics. And so we had stylized stick figures with speech bubbles, and we featured the quotes, and those graphics became the thing that we used in each of our communications about the Amazing Raise, and we built a whole campaign around that. And then we continue to use those graphics and that messaging throughout all of our year-end appeals throughout the rest of the year. So I think it's extremely helpful to look at the Amazing Raise that way, that it's an opportunity to bring a whole bunch of people together that will get excited about one event and can help you think creatively about ways to talk about your organization, and then use the things that they come up with in a bunch of other ways so that you keep getting benefits from that strategy.
The Richmond Symphony integrates this into its overall fundraising concept because about this time of year, I'm summoned to the Symphony's board chair's office. And this will be the third board chair that I've worked with. Joe Murillo originally, then Phil Bennett, and now incoming Rebecca Horner. Our incoming board chair this year, Rebecca Horner, gave the first gift in the Amazing Raise last year. So she's psyched. She's number one. Community Foundation tweeted out, Richmond Symphony had first gift in the Amazing Raise. Yeah, because next year, I've got that board chair already buying in. And the board chair says to me that he wants to make sure that the goals that I've set are reasonable, attainable, and that they reflect the overall idea that the Richmond Symphony will be the highest placing performing arts organization in the Amazing Raise. The second goal that the board chair sets for me is that we will have a high enough placed finish that David Fisk and Scott Dodson can go to the countdown celebration and be seen as having taken the Amazing Raise seriously. Now, meanwhile, I'm back in the war room frantically trying to raise the last gifts and frantically thanking the final donors. And the other thing that the board chair charges me with the responsibility to do is go after specific prizes that may have meaning. Last year, the 50 state prize was meaningful on several levels to the Symphony. First of all, it was sponsored by a Tallheimer. And the Tallheimers have always been very important to the Richmond Symphony. So I was told, we will win that prize. We will win the prize sponsored by the Tallheimers. And we will be able to say that the Richmond Symphony has supporters in all 50 states, has financial donors from all 50 states, because then on grant applications, we will be able to say the Richmond Symphony has financial donors from all 50 states. And so some of the things that happen in the Amazing Raise go help the development staff the rest of the year. The board chair has bragging rights. Scott Dodson, David Fisk went to the countdown celebration and were held up as taking the Amazing Raise very seriously. And then some things that can be written into the success story of the development department of the Richmond Symphony come out of the Amazing Raise. Now, I'm also told that the symphony boards and the development staff take the Raise very seriously as an integration into the overall fundraising strategy because it honors existing donors. We will not leave one available dollar on the table. Now, that tells the $100,000 donor that we respect their $100,000 if we don't miss any $10 and $25. It also honors our community. Our name is the city. It is the Richmond Symphony. So we want to honor the Richmond Symphony by having somebody out in Wyoming saying, hey, I gave to the Richmond Symphony because somebody asked me, because somebody knows David Robinson. It also honors our partnership with the Community Foundation. Our partnership with the Community Foundation is very important to us. So we take it very seriously to honor the Community Foundation. It also honors the individual prize sponsors. And this year, we're going to honor Town Bank because we're going to make sure to reach those goals that the Community Foundation set. And I recognize that my participation as the RSO's Amazing Raise chair, if I don't do my job, they don't hit their numbers of getting to $2 million. And I'll tell you more about sort of some of my goals in one of the next questions that I know is coming. But we take it seriously because people expect us to take it seriously, and we want to respect those people that want us to take it seriously.
The Amazing Raise has had a huge impact on our annual fundraising as a group. It really forced us to become very, very organized in what we were doing. So all of a sudden we had target groups. Previously we have our Bark in the Park and we have our Pet Expo. And what we've been able to do is fit those target groups into our Amazing Raise group. And so it really tripled the number of people who we were reaching. But even more so for a small group, the Amazing Raise has given us a lot of publicity that we never had before. So what that means to us is all of a sudden we won the Selfies for Good and we were in the newspaper. Who knew? And it was great for us because we started getting a lot of calls, and we started getting a lot of calls not only for donations but also about our animals. And the bottom line is the more money we can raise, the more lives we are going to save. And that is a big incentive for us to keep going with the Amazing Raise. So we've spent a lot of time really being focused. We've started reaching out to new groups that we'd never had reached out to before, and in fact, because of the Amazing Raise, we have a group now who's helping us, and we've started writing grants. So overall, our entire fundraising base has changed because of our work with the Community Foundation and with the Amazing Raise. So I can't tell you how much I think participating in this program is going to help your fundraising, and for all of you newcomers who are thinking about it, it really has been a boon for our group.
The main thing I would say about the annual fund implications, because I think it's a legitimate concern. You know, obviously this is a panel of people we really believe in the Amazing Raise because it's been awesome. I think that there are legitimate concerns out there, and we took those pretty seriously early on with the Amazing Raise. They were concerns for us about kind of, you know, cannibalizing donors. And I'd say the main thing is education. Just donor education, kind of that sense that I was telling you about of like my home team, like the people that I need to really understand how the Amazing Raise works and what our strategies are, which is really my board, my staff, and then kind of a few other groupies. That home team, I need to really understand who we're going after, how we're asking them, what we're asking of them, and how we can educate them about what the Amazing Raise is differently than maybe their annual gift. And the way the Blue Sky primarily focuses that really at the giver that's in the maybe $200 to $300 range. That's kind of your only risk, and we've experienced that. We've had, you know, a couple of folks who, you know, did the whole like, oh well, I gave in the Amazing Raise, and so there's a little loss there, right? Like if they think they're done after they've given $50 in the Amazing Raise, but they would have given you $200 or $250. You know, that's in our perception where for our organization and for our pyramid, that's where our greatest risk is. And so we really seek to educate. We really seek to be intentional about who's in that strata and how we can educate them, how we can still send a follow-up to them at the end of the year that says, thank you so much for your gift in the Amazing Raise. That doesn't just, they get a letter thinking, because, you know, they don't want to think that they're still on your list if they already did. They already gave to you for the year. So acknowledging you have already given to us, and we would love for you to meet your amount from last year of $200 or something that's really specific and tailored to those donors. Your high dollar donors, the ones that participate in the Amazing Raise, they are not going to not give you your large gift. You know, our board members all give during the Amazing Raise and love it because it's fun and competitive and super wonderful to leverage $50 into, you know, thousands. You're not going to lose those people, and you're going to gain a whole host of people you would have never had. So for us, our annual fund kind of strategy on the concern there is just really to educate. And I would say the Community Foundation does a really good job of that, and I would just continue to encourage that. I think the more that the mass understanding of what a 36-hour Blitz giving campaign is in a community, the better our donors will engage with our annual funds kind of in an appropriate way, I guess.